Let's make this our last topic because it does tie into the one we were trying to plan after that. So the Dark Below has been out for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Crota Hard Mode just happened, 2 weeks ago? Roughly.
We're on our third week
it's
already,
almost
if not
it's
more,
almost 2 weeks. Is it time, if you've done all those things, is it time to take a break from Destiny? Is now the time to say, all right, well, let's do something else, let's play other games, and come back?
And for, just in my opinion, unless you're new to Destiny, I 100% believe you should take a break. Maybe come back daily for a quick bounty or two, but you should take a break. You'll burn yourself out. Yeah.
Here's another advantage to taking a break. It's going to make March all that more rewarding. There's going to be more left for you to do. I have 2 32s now. There's one other guy that can be 32. Maybe I'll run the raid a little bit more, but there's not a lot of desire to go back. I'm going to be playing very casually now until March.
Yeah, and with March, you mean that's
when we believe House of Wolves
will happen, and we don't know if there'll be another Queen's Bounty between now and then, but if that were to show up, that would be another good reason to come back.
Yeah, I mean, maybe come back for an event, right? Iron Banner. But
there's nothing I need from those events, though. I mean,
they had some gloves in Iron Banner.
Am I going to invest a week worth of time to get a pair of gloves that I can get as a drop in a raid that I haven't played yet?
It's fair.
I just feel like there's, there are other games out there to play right now. Take advantage of that. That way you don't get so burnt out in Destiny. I stream Destiny every single night pretty much since the game came out. So I've lasted pretty long, but I'm officially burnt out. And I mean, I will return. Yeah. That I know for sure. But right now, I'm just especially I'm hooked on other games like Smite. So I'm just I just want to
Dying Light.
I just want to stream something else.
Yeah. Sure. So
we're not saying we're giving up the podcast, by the way.
No.
This is not code for that at all.
We're still doing the podcast.
So we're just feeling a little.
Destiny. It's just I play this
I've done everything
6 hours every night for months on end. I need to just take a step back a little bit.
So I decided to take a break this week, and I mentioned it at the top of the show, but it was mostly out of frustration. So we last week, or whenever Crota Hard Mode showed up, we took some time, but then we put together a group, we jumped in. Now, for full context, I was the only 31 in that group. The entire group was comprised of 32s.
Okay.
My fire team knew going in, they were like, "No, we still want you here. It's totally fine."
It's 31's not that bad.
Yeah, only 131 in the group. That's not that bad. And to be fair, especially during the Crota encounter, I was not dying on a regular basis. I would say I would die 2% of the time.
31 over here.
Yeah.
This guy.
Legit. So it wasn't that... the frustration had nothing to do with the amount of times, especially in the Abyss, I was the squishiest guy in the room, by the way. It was just absolutely awful. But whatever, let's move past that. In the final fight with Crota, the number of glitches in the raid were driving us up a wall. I'm talking about more than any other time I've ever run Crota's End. Knights just running through into the summoning chamber before the barriers come down. We call those YOLO Knights, by the way, because they just straight up run in. They're like YOLO, and they chop.
I don't think that's not a glitch, though.
Through the barrier,
coming through the glass?
Through the barrier, Dustin?
I mean, the
barriers are still
up. The witches do in the previous segment. I mean, that's how you pull them out, right? They come through that. So enemies can't go.
But you're trapped in a small room with that thing. That's not cool.
It's true. I don't think game-wise, they should have made it like that.
So that was happening on a regular basis. We had a time where we DPS Trota's shield, and he was starting the animation to take a knee.
I've seen this
one. A few seconds into that animation, he decided to stand straight up, chop the sword bearer, and then take a knee.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one's
very
when
he's in rage, he gets up and chops.
Yeah, and it wasn't in rage.
Okay.
This was still early in that portion.
Yeah.
We had a boomer from the 2 towers. So, the current ogre strategy on Crota's End is to run over where the ogre spawns, essentially. One of the strategies.
Yeah.
Hang out over the door like you would with Ear Ute, where you'd you'd hop up to the ledge above the door frame.
Yeah.
And you just kill the first ogre as it comes out, either on the right or on the left. We usually pick the right side. We got that right. A boomer shot through the floor and killed one of my fire teammates. What
my friend
heck?
Scott said that they were in that same area, and then it just rained boomers on them.
I understand that all synchronizing all of the events that are happening in the raid with 6 different places in the world, because most of my friends are in Seattle. There's a couple of us spread out. We have a couple of friends even on the East Coast. We're all participating in the same raid. I get that networking is hard, but the number of glitches in Crota hard
You're
mode that
forgetting
we
the
encountered.
biggest one.
Which one?
Yeah.
It's when, and this kills our speed runs all the time. The sword just disappears.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, that happened to us too.
That happens to
Wow.
everybody often.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we'll be on like a sub 15-minute run, and then the sword just disappears. And we're like, well, there that
And like
goes.
you do the whole pickup animation, and it's just like, okay, pick it up.
Yeah.
Nope,
It's just
nothing
not-
happens. Sorry,
yeah.
guys.
Yeah, so that's disappointing.
I will admit that we could do better in terms of gear to, restore health. I think that's an area that our team definitely needs improvement in.
Suros, Red Dead, if you're
exactly.
a hunter, there's the
Yeah,
helmet.
like I will admit that there were even times where we were in the middle of teamwork, and mistakes happen. That's part of team building. That's part of teamwork. But by Monday night at midnight, like all of us said, I'm taking a break from this because this is absolutely brutal. And this, I don't want to see the argument as we weren't ready, because the number of glitches we saw and with the amount of frequency, it was frustrating to the point where when we got it right,
the
we
Crota
failed.
encounter itself is hard, right?
Yeah.
And even if you want to get it down efficiently, you have to still be, really in sync with your fire team. You toss random glitches into that, like, a handful of them that could happen at any moment.
Yeah.
Here
And just lastly, sorry to wrap some of this, there's still glitches in Vault of Glass. You can still get the portal glitch. Like, I just feel like the raid right now, which is
where
the
you can't go
best
through.
part.
Yeah.
The best part of the game that we love to talk about all the time for the most part is the raid. And we've said great things about it on the show. But it can be really frustrating when things don't go right because of cheese. Cheese works both ways. Why do you think people want to cheese? When things like this happen, of course they're going to find ways to cheese.
And I think it's something that they should address immediately, right? Because then you have the people who are the tryhards, right? They're just going to keep trying no matter what. They're like, oh, this happens. But then you have people who casually just raid once a week, right? And they have a hard time finding a fire team in the first place. And then they run into all these issues.
The craziest glitch I saw on Crota's End was I came into this game, just somebody on my friends list, and I hopped in, and everybody died, so it was a wipe. Everybody restarts, and the crystal was not there. I don't think we could replicate this, but the crystal was not there at all. So I'm like, what the heck? And like I jumped down in the middle.
Oh my goodness!
And the knights were there and everything. I'm like, this is bizarre.
Yeah.
Like, I have never seen anything like this. It was just such a strange way to come into a raid.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so that's my excuse right now for taking a break. I did not play again until last night. I'm going to contact my team and see if they want to start picking this up, although this is a bad weekend to do it.
I want to play Vault.
And and that's the thing. Then I went to Vault on normal, got Hawkmoon, and I was like, okay, sure, I'll take it, RNG.
Why not?
Let me have it. Yeah, why not?
As I say that, I'm going to be taking a break from Destiny. My one friend just hits up in the team cake and says, hey, Crota hard raid speedruns now?
And you're like, sigh. Yeah, so it might be a good idea if you have been putting in a lot of time. And I will admit I have been. I definitely know you two have. Although you had some time off, so it seems like you're going to stick around.
I've only played
Right.
a couple times this week, but I think we're going to start doing hard mode speedruns. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Again,
I
that
have
doesn't
5
mean...
exotics left to get. 5.
Really? Will it fit in your vault?
No. The Fourth Horseman, the Necrochasm, are 2 of them, actually.
Oh, yeah?
And then Hawkmoon,
Okay.
Mida Multi-Tool. I can't remember the other one. I don't really want them. Oh, Suros. I never got Suros.
I
Or
want
Monte
Suros.
Carlo, actually. So there's 6.
Oh, dude, I'm getting Monte Carlos all the time. Just roll with me. I've gotten like 4 Monte Carlos.
Yeah.
Yeah, as exotic drops.
Well, I don't really want any of those, though.
Okay.
So. Well, I kind of want Suros now for the health regen, but...
Yeah.
Soros is nice. It's still an efficient gun.
Yeah, don't
to use in
buy the
PvP.
wrong thing
Yeah.
when he sells it next time.
But he does. We did a Zerg video way back, and he
I'm over
bought,
that, by
he
the
bought
way.
the wrong thing, and then never got a Suros ever since.
No,
Really?
I never got it as a drop. No, never.
He was like, "All right, guys, I'm gonna, we're doing the Zerg video. He's like, oh, I'm gonna buy my Suros. Oh no!" And he bought like
the worst hunter chess piece of the time.
yeah, like the raspberry.
No.
chess piece
I
for
got
the hunter.
Chest of Alpha Lupi, which turned out to be okay.
No, that's
Okay.
a good chess piece.
But at the time, it wasn't.
he bought that
Cool,
instead
cool.
of the Suros.
All right. Well, there you have it. Another episode of Fireteam Chat. And let me tell you, this last topic does not mean we're going away.
No.
We actually have a really cool guest for next week that we're not going to say who.
Yep.
Hopefully
we
that
have a lot of
goes
cool
through.
guests lined up, and we can't thank you guys enough for all the support that you guys give us.
Yeah.
With this podcast, like,
Absolutely.
number one on iTunes still currently, right?
Yeah. No, we've been getting a lot of good feedback. Folks have been emailing, sending in sort of their stories and their experience, and they seem to be genuinely excited about having a show that's discussing some of this stuff.
Yeah.
And just a reminder for folks, even when we kind of bring up the complaints and the issues and
Yeah, I
the
was
things
about
that
to
bug
say,
us about
we
the
still
game.
love this
Yeah,
game.
we're
Yeah.
still here for the most part until at least one of us finally rages and leaves.
Well, Destin's raged and left a couple of times.
Oh
already.
yeah, sometimes I just need a few days to not play,
Yeah.
you know, and then
No,
you
for
come
sure.
back and you're like, all right,
It's like that with any
I'll do
game,
some
right?
raids.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to reuniting with my squad, though, and seeing if we can do it again. Hopefully, if those guys are listening, we'll be doing that real soon. Please, in case I haven't texted you.
Well, good luck, Jose.
All right, well, thank you for listening to Fireteam Chat. We are a weekly podcast experiment at IGN,
we are.
and I say that because for now we
No,
are.
we're weekly, and we're not an experiment anymore.
Yeah, okay. But and we thank you for all of your support. You can support the show in a couple of ways. You can write in some topics or suggestions, or even answer the question like, hey, how about those Dark Below exotics? What did you think? Write into destiny@ign.com. Let us know what you think. Also, send us feedback. Let us know basically what you want to see. Yes, we are a half-hour show. We have heard the voices who wanted an hour. To be continued. Let's see what happens in the future. For right now, we are very, very excited with the positive reception, but it's not quite enough to push for the hour yet. So just keep listening, keep supporting. Maybe that time will come.
Yeah.
Cool. So you can find Destin Legary on Twitter at
Destin Legary, DestinLegarie.
Ooh.
You can find Alfredo at
The Alfredo Place.
and you guys also stream on Twitch. Where do they find you there if they want to watch that?
Same thing. Twitch.tv/Destin Legary.
Twitch.tv/Alfredo Place.
And you can find only on Twitter and
There you
nowhere
go.
else.
There you go.
That's right. Jose_Otero. Thank you very much for listening, Guardians. And we'll be back next week with more Fireteam Chat.
Bye, guys.
Damn Necro.